Hotel 1 to all hard call signs.
They're Britain's toughest medics.
RTC leads.
I don't look good. Go, go, go.
They are evacuating the cinema. There is asbestos involved.
There's lots of hazards, lots of dangers. It's a constant dynamic risk assessment.
The NHS's Hazardous Area Response Teams, HART for short, are trained to tackle the most critical cases in the most dangerous places.
Right, boss, you're going to start going up now. Just keep your eyes closed.
In the firing line.
Shotgun injuries to his leg.
Go on, you have to blast me.
First in.
This is going to be news, headline news as well.
Last out.
This is moving, this.
Oh, no. Let's come out of there.
It could have gone very wrong, very quickly.
With strength.
Ready, brace, lift.
Compassion.
It's the ambulance service. It's okay. Take my hand.
And specialist skills.
Could be someone in water, at height, underground, overcome by gas. Whatever it is, our team are there.
Created after the 7/7 bombings, they're in the front line when terrorists strike.
That's what we train for, that's what we study for, that's what motivates us, knowing that at those critical times we can make all the difference.
Specially selected.
We're currently dealing with a lot of casualties over quite a large area.
Seen through cameras, sharing their danger, their triumphs,
All right, just relax, John.
and their tragedies.
We're on pulse of 36 now, Doctor.
This is going to be a major incident.
It's early evening in Bradford, and 999 calls are flooding in after a high-speed crash on a busy residential street.
Hotel 1 to all hard call signs. You've got a detail.
Alpha team are on duty. It's a 20-minute dash to the scene. They're going in convoy.
BD72. I'll do.
Team leader Andy's working out the route.
Is it my location, it?
999 road activated.
For 21 minutes.
More details are appearing on Andy's screen.
Motorcyclist, I believe it is, a 19-year-old male who is not conscious, not breathing, therefore in traumatic arrest. For reason for activating heart, such an incident is to provide additional clinical skills to this particular patient and support the doctor on scene if he does decide to do any more extended skills.
The air ambulance is already on scene. An off-duty nurse and a local GP have managed to restart the biker's heart.
Hotel 1 to 1020.
8 and 1020. A bit of postcodes, BD72NH. BD72NH. I'll bring you closer to the scene of her.
A flying doctor is desperately trying to stabilise the 21-year-old rider.
Current situation, traumatic arrest, he's got a Ross.
He wasn't wearing a helmet.
The plan is we're going to intubate him here. What you're going to do is get him up there, new kit done, new equipment here. Just I don't need a full command, just basic stuff. Not for a full RSI, just basic intubation equipment, if that's okay.
The doctor wants to take over the rider's breathing.
You got booge in a tube, I'll get a scalpel, just in case we go front and neck.
Are you happy for metronome to come off, Chris?
Oh yeah, strong switch.
Trafford Quantrill Stott came off when he hit a bollard and then a parked car.
Okay. I know, head end.
Ready, steady, move.
Yep, brilliant.
Thanks to CPR, he's breathing again, but he's unconscious.
We're just making a kit dump to do intubation, not a full RSI. Okay. So we've got the tubes, we've got a scope, we've got all the attachments.
Hart are bringing their medical skills to what looks like a losing battle.
We've had 2 failed intubations, so they're going to do it on the trolley, mate.
Their patient has a major head wound and a badly broken arm.
Are we all ready?
Okay.
Ready, steady, move.
Okay, yep, we're under.
This way slightly towards me.
But it's feared he also has major internal injuries to his chest.
Can we actually pick him up on his hip a bit, guys?
They're putting him on a spinal board.
Okay, yep. Which end's head end, so we're going to go around, aren't we?
Access on?
Should we get him up and then get the access on while we're getting airways sorted? Airways the priority, isn't it?
Local people who saw the crash have been joined by relatives, including the biker's mum, sister, grandparents and stepdad.
Mum, please.
Okay.
On lift, guys, yeah? Ready, steady, lift.
It's a fraught atmosphere, but the team must focus on their patient.
Moggy, can you get the defib? 2 seconds, guys. Yep. Where's that lead gone? Sorry.
Pick up this road traffic in Bradford. We've got a 19-year-old male being knocked off his motorbike.
Andy's updating control.
Police and off-duty paramedic and nurse started CPR straight away. We have now got a ROSC. He has had bilateral thoracostomies, and we are now preparing to intubate before moving to hospital.
What's his CO2?
2.7, we're getting on CO2 at the moment. 82% on his O2.
The doctor is going to try to intubate Trafford again.
Can we get the CO2 trace?
I'm not getting anything at the moment, keep on going with it.
So I'm going to go with a size 4 blade,
size 4 this time.
a size 8 tube, and a bougie.
Yep,
okay.
Bougie tube ready, just leave them on the blade.
There is a lot of risks with doing intubation in itself. Everybody really needs to know their role. There needs to be one person in charge, and they're there to support the doctor, and everybody else is under them at that time, and they will do exactly as they say. So it is a different environment, but it's one where the team themselves have practiced it a lot, because it is such a serious clinical skill. They need to be well prepared and well trained in doing it.
His massive chest injuries will make this procedure much harder than usual.
So what we're going to do is put the scarf to sleep with emergency anaesthetic, okay? I'm going to intubate him, you're going to assist me, okay? Sam's going to give my drugs, okay? We're going to do 1-to-1 ketamine and rock, okay? I'll tell you what to give.
Trafford's condition is deteriorating. His breathing is very shallow.
It's down at 3.2, 3.3 at the moment.
Which means he needs volume. So let's get his tube secure.
Drugs are about to go in.
Okay, you ready? Ready when you are. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to bang this tube down, we're going to get in the ambulance and we're going to get the hell out of it. Yes. Happy?
Yeah.
Trafford is lapsing into an induced coma.
Okay, silence for intubation please, folks.
He's being given an emergency blood transfusion.
Laryngoscope please.
Cheers, mate, thank you.
The flying doctor and 10 paramedics are now focused on keeping their patient alive.
Sats holding at 90.
Sam, just put your hand on his neck for me. Yeah. Hold that position. Bougie. Grade 2 view. Tube on, please.
A tube is being slid down Trafford's windpipe.
Tube on, I have the bougie.
His airway is now in the control of the medics.
Bougie out, 22. It's fine. You got ready to do your cuff up, mate? Is that okay?
We've got a syringe, guys. Yep.
Already.
Gives it a lick.
It's all right. Take your time. It's fine.
But now they need to re-inflate his collapsed lung.
Sam, can you just re-finger this thoracostomy holes? 1 each. Happy?
Getting pressure coming back on my finger. Don't feel great, but I am getting pressure back on my finger.
Fine.
Surgical incisions in the side of his chest are allowing blood to drain from his lungs. But they keep closing up.
Right.
It's time to move.
Just some headlocks and some tape. If you sort the rest of the packaging out, now is that you get to
yes, mate.
It's like your guys to do that, that'd be great.
Straight
you ready, Chris?
His vital signs are dropping again.
We're on pulse of 36 now, Doctor.
All right, fine. His CO2's gone low. Can you just re-finger those thoracostomies?
His heartbeat is faltering.
It's gone Brady out of 30.
Yep. I'm going to redo this one on the left.
You've got a broken rib there?
Yeah, he's got a lot of crepitus. This one's redone.
Watch your feet!
The drains in his chest are blocking up. His life is once more on the line.
Can't get your finger in there at all.
Okay, we've just got to get going, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just watch that roll.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm in.
Yeah, good to go, thank you.
Watch all that not fall on you.
The regional trauma centre in Leeds is a 15-minute drive.
Right, so you've got a full thing of adrenaline.
The journey will take precious minutes Trafford may not have. Then his heart stops again.
CO2 is now 1.2.
Right, so he's probably pretty much arrested again, hasn't he? He starts the chest compressions again.
Go on, I'm on it.
Paramedic Alex has helped lead the fight to save Trafford until now.
This gentleman's very, very serious, so as we've repackaged him, it looks like he's possibly rearrested as well. We've done what's called finger thoracostomies around his chest to help open up his chest and his breathing area, but he's got a lot of crepitus on the left side where we think he's got a lot of fractured ribs as well. We're trying to work on him now to get a pulse back on him, but we'll have to see what happens on the way down to hospital.
Andy and the air ambulance team are desperately fighting to keep their patient alive.
He's got a massive head injury. We know he's got chest injuries because his chest is staying in and he's had blood from both thoracostomy.
Yeah. Just to make it clear, his head isn't a massive head injury. That's all scalp. His skull looks intact.
That's why I think he's arrested.
Bleeding and head, probably.
They're still trying to reduce the amount of blood building up in his chest.
Still 1.2.
Yeah, stop that.
It's putting pressure on his heart and reducing the blood flow to his brain.
Got waveform.
It's very wide though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're measuring the amount of carbon dioxide he's breathing out. The higher the number, the better.
CO2's dropping again, 0.9 now.
But it's falling.
We're giving it, doing everything we can here.
CO2 0.4.
Despite donor blood and CPR, their patient is continuing to deteriorate.
Chest concussions, adrenaline.
It's becoming clear he was lucky to even survive the impact when he crashed.
From what the bystander reports and police reports are saying, the gentleman's actually hit this bollard, lost control. He's ended up just past our first response car, a bit further up, and then the bike's carried on up to next to the police car further up there. So he's travelled quite a way once he's hit something. Whether he's been airborne or whether he's still been on the bike, though, we don't know.
The ambulance is nearing the hospital, but Trafford is now close to death.
What's numbers?
Okay, 0.5 on his capnography.
Let's see what rhythm he's in.
Same again.
Restart chest compression.
They've arrived.
Super driving.
The Leeds General Infirmary trauma team must now take over the battle.
Okay, everybody ready? On slide. Yep. Ready, set, slide.
Thanks to his rescuers, Trafford now has the best chance possible.
Okay, so this is a 19-year-old male who was riding a motorcycle versus a car.
But the odds are heavily stacked against his survival. It's early morning. Tim and Papa team are being scrambled to a Yorkshire canal.
So he's got a machete and a crossbow.
A major drama is unfolding between police and a man police believe may be armed.
Just an update, we have a CS Burns, actually at the RV point. I'm going to try and get in touch with the police now to see if they're going to meet us there also.
Roger, all received, both axles.
The man is holed up on a narrowboat. There are reports he's threatening to shoot anyone who approaches. Police, firearms and counter-terrorism officers have been called in.
I'm just out RRV, out CS, on duty. I'm just going to have a quick liaison police are with them.
Yeah, roger that. I'll just head to address as given then for the time being.
Papa team are taking no chances. They're putting on full ballistic protection gear. They're here to provide life-saving medical care to the police and, if necessary, the man. Team leader Crocs is already on scene.
I don't really know what's going on. Firearms just said move forward with us.
At the canal, there's a tense standoff.
I'm happy for you to step out of cover and have a look.
Yep.
The police know the man. Crocs gets the details.
Our suspect is on the barge and it looks like he's armed with something to be a crossbow. Intelligence has got a crossbow. Plan is to contain it, negotiate with him and call him out at some stage so that we can get him locked up. You're here as a contingency. Primarily if he deploys a crossbow and we have injuries, and secondly if he either harms himself or drops in the lake. So I've got fire and rescue coming.
I'm going to get two into water gear.
Smashing, sweet.
Yeah,
find some cover and stay in cover.
There's been a dispute over mooring rights, and bailiffs have been trying to make him move the boat.
It sounds like this person tried to evict him from his barge and he's resisted. He's got markers for weapons and such. So the police put everything in place to make sure that nothing happens to anyone as they go forward and get him off.
All our medical contingencies is this side of the pond. We need something at that side.
Right. I'll take my two in water gear over to
this side. Yeah, just
Does that make sense, yeah? And stick them, see where that van is, they can come down that van, and that's a good holding point. We've got a number of big solid trees there, so if they're staying covered behind those trees.
We've got everybody in ballistic PPE, but we can't go in the water in this because we'll just sink like stones. So we've got some staff deployed in their water rescue PPE, so that if he does actually go in the water, if anything happens, we can actually get him out of the water. And we've got a fire team that's going to assist us with that. So now it's a case of we just sit and wait.
People nearby have been told to stay indoors. A police drone is keeping the area under surveillance. The barge is drifting, and the man is refusing to come on deck.
We've just been discussing, just myself and Tim, because we've got all our medical kit with us, just what sort of line of treatment we would be following, who would be doing what. If anybody became injured, we've just been talking about potential sort of crossbow injuries or machete injuries with regard to cat tourniquets, any sort of hemostatic dressing we might need to use.
We've done mooring, so it's drifted further out, so it's even harder to get onto it. Obviously, history of having some weapons and stuff. If he has actually done it to himself, it's going to be difficult to get on and do it. They don't know what it'll be like inside. We also think it'll be quite full of clutter, as demonstrated by what's on top of it as well, so it won't be easy to actually get into on the boat. If something does happen to him or we need to get access to it, we've got medical cover on both sides. From their perspective, we just want to rescue into water, get him and go to whichever side you want to go to.
On board the narrowboat, the man shouting demands to a police negotiator on the towpath. With the firearms squad in support, the negotiator is preparing to move forward. The team must prepare for gunshot injuries.
Are you happy we can do it now?
At worst, it could be instantly fatal, depending on where that person is hit. The problem with a gunshot wound is you normally get a very small entry wound into the body, but then you get an explosion happening inside the body, so you can suffer from a lot of heavy bleeding. So it's very important that we quickly stabilise patients, stop that bleeding, and get them to a place of definitive care.
Hey up, mate. Right, well, DCA has been, they're sending one from Cash Station.
At a crucial point in negotiations, Crocs gets an urgent call.
Basically straight into property, get her out, get her onto the motor, get her onto the main road and start doing any checks or all like that need to be done out at way up there.
A pensioner living inside the danger zone needs an ambulance.
The problem we've got is the only access and egress is down a road which runs in front of where some of the firearms officers are putting on containment. So it means that we might have to drive a vehicle at one of the operations DCA's down past them.
Heart paramedic Moggy will accompany the ambulance.
Oh, how good were you? We're just going to drive right in line of fire. It's just making sure firearms commanders let us through.
They're heading into the firing line. Moggy keeps things calm.
Just follow around to it right. It's a bit of a circus we've got going on.
But this is a calculated risk. The thin metal of the ambulance offers scant protection from a bullet. In the middle of a siege, Moggy and the paramedics must load the patient. At Heart HQ, it's training as usual for Tango Team. They're the only ambulance staff equipped to deal with the most dangerous chemicals.
The address has been used as a laboratory for the manufacture of chemical weapons. After several days of surveillance, West Yorkshire Police gained entry to find several casualties unresponsive. Police have requested that Heart enter the building to provide specialist assistance.
Today, it's an exercise, but the medics know that one day they could be doing it for real.
We know that we've got a door here that we're not going to use initially, and we know that there's a little window here which we're going to put a little ladder against. There's 10 patients splattered around, and all we're going to do, we're going to break up into pairs. First pair will go in, go through entry control with the triage bag, the recce bag, and we're just going to do toxic triage.
The team work hard to make the training as realistic as possible.
Are you going to knock him while I put the right wrist Chemcon on?
Upon going into the property, it's discovered that there are patients suffering effects of sarin gas as a nerve agent. So we're just going in, triaging each of them and practicing extrication of those patients in a safe manner.
And it's not long before their skills are needed for real. At a business park in Barnsley, there's been a chemical spill. Gemma's on her way.
There's reports that a fuel tank has been pierced and the fuel tanker is apparently carrying some sort of toxic material, which we're not sure what it is just yet. But if that tanker's full and it's full of a substance that could cause kind of respiratory problems and it's a kind of breezy day like it is today, then potentially quite a lot of people could be contaminated, so to speak, with this substance, and it could cause real problems to a lot of people. So we need to kind of get on top of it as soon as we can, really. Oh, look, it's chaos. They're all wondering what's going on. There's not an obvious plume. There's a lot of fire. Wow. It's like Blackpool.
The lorry loaded with chemicals was parked up when thieves stole its fuel and damaged a container it was carrying. New team leader Lee gets the latest.
It's ethanolamine.
Right.
That's
Sounds good.
There's only one person that's been involved at the moment. That was the driver. He's been asleep in the wagon. Somebody's come along and it looks like they've pierced the large container. He was okay at first, but he's just come up saying he just felt a bit strange.
Yeah.
The only other person that would have been involved is the person that did it, but they're not on scene.
The corrosive chemical is highly flammable. Fire crews have set up a cordon. Workers at the business park have been told to stay indoors.
We're packed. We've got a couple of guys that need to leave. Have they got permission to come up and out of this road where we stood?
Can you ask them to stay put? There's no movement through the cordon at the moment.
They just said, can you stay put at the moment? And then as soon as we get some more info, I'll come and let you know.
In the ambulance, the driver of the lorry is being treated for burns.
Apparently had contact with it on his hands. There's nothing obvious injury-wise from that. Just make sure that there's no other sort of ill effects from it medically. So yeah, he seems fine in himself.
Gemma is helping a mechanic who's been splashed with the chemical.
He's saying he's got burning hands, so we're just in the process of trying to rinse him off. But he's saying he don't want to go to hospital over.
As I'm walking away, someone's blown in wind and got me. So I washed it 2 or 3 times, but it's still burning. And as you can see, it's burning my arms.
He's complaining of kind of a burning sensation on his arms and near his face. I can't see anything obvious, but I've asked him to rinse himself off for the next kind of 20 minutes or so, following the guidance. How are we doing?
Cold.
You cold? Is it making it? Is it here? This? That's that round.
No, that one. That one, and then there.
They weren't there this morning.
No.
And what about on your face? You said you'd rubbed it.
I've got a bit on my lip, but.
Is that not bothering you?
No. They've slashed it halfway down on the bottom.
Because they were trying to rob fuel out of it.
They've robbed his fuel and technology.
All right.
They've done all that. I've got
so while they were in the process of robbing his fuel, they've slashed his tank.
Yeah.
Right.
The mechanic's burns will need to be treated.
So did he see him nicking his fuel? No. Is it a common thing, that? Is it?
Yeah, must be a week. In fact, we've got three this morning.
Jump on board, buddy.
Fire officers are concerned about a lethal chemical reaction with the rest of the cargo. It could lead to a poison gas cloud. Their hazardous materials advisor is checking it out.
If you got it in your eyes or on your skin, the likelihood is nothing would happen, but you need to wash it off just in case. It might be a bit of an irritant, yeah. The hole in the IBC, we're going to just use some putty to plug, yeah. And then we're going to assess what we need to do while we're down there.
Right.
Both the driver and the mechanic are feeling worried.
This gentleman here banged on the cab, didn't know about the leak, and then he told me. Well, there's a mixture of everything, but what he damaged was corrosive material. It was all dripping down onto the trailer, onto the road, onto the diesel tank. We both had a few burns on our hands, judging by what we say, mine's dying down a bit now. So
they've got kind of minor irritation on the skin, I would say, not a burn as such, but they say that it's kind of tingling and bothering them. So we've irrigated the area for quite a long time for both patients, and they're both okay to continue with what they were doing.
It's time for Hart to stand down. It's been a near miss. If the leak hadn't been discovered promptly, the lorry could have spilled the chemical along its route, a petty theft that put lives at risk. Back in West Yorkshire, Papa team are attending a dangerous standoff between police and a man reported to have access to a gun and a crossbow. Holed up in his barge, he's refusing to come ashore. But a pensioner nearby needs an emergency rescue. Moggy and a local ambulance crew are going to collect her, under the protection of police marksmen.
They kind of want us to just get her on and get out, basically, and then do our obs on roadside out of the way. Now, you have a sit on there for us. You bob your feet up. And
Moggy's keeping everyone calm, but they need to get the elderly lady out of the hot zone and out of danger.
Hotel 1, Hotel 2. Hotel 1. Run his way back across, mate.
They're out of the firing line. The elderly lady will be treated by local paramedics at a safe distance. Hart are called to any incident where weapons are involved.
Just because you're wearing a vest that says ambulance on the front of it, it doesn't make you any less of a target. But offenders still see us as an authoritative figure, and quite often they've got a grudge against the establishment. So yes, we become a target as well.
The standoff is dragging on.
We've been here maybe about 5 hours now, and I think they're just looking at maybe trying to get some better form of communication with the subject that's on the boat at the moment, just to obviously try and continue negotiations.
Daylight is fading and police negotiations are going on into the night.
Got a protracted incident, so the police are still negotiating with the subject. At this time they continue to negotiate the best they can with the subject with a view to bringing this incident to a close. Unlike the movies where they just go steaming in without a care in the world, human beings have certain human rights which have to be respected, and that is why the police haven't just gone flying in there and bringing it to a close in that fashion.
The team will stay with police for as long as it takes. They could be at the canal for many hours yet. "10 miles away, the rush hour is dying down on the Lofthouse interchange, where the M1 and the M62 Transpennine motorway meet. It's one of the busiest stretches of motorway in the country.
Essentially come across this junction 29.
999 road activated.
It's 10:30 p.m. and a car has hit the central reservation. Debris is strewn across the motorway.
Things parked up here. It's fire.
There are reports the driver is injured. Tango team are the nearest medics. Team leader Tony and Moggy will be first on scene. Gemma is briefed by Tony on the driver's condition.
Hi mate. How are we doing?
This gentleman is the only car that's involved that's at the central reservation.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Driver Greg Leeming has no external injuries, but he may have internal damage. Gemma's checking him over.
So what's bothering you at the moment?
My back hurts.
Your back hurts?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to feel back of your neck and down your spine. Just tell me if anything's hurting where I touch.
No, it's all right. I feel that, but it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. You're just
sore.
aware of it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're sitting like it's hurting.
Yeah, I know. That's because I'm shaking.
Is it because you're shaking because you're cold?
I think it's just because my back hurts. And I think I'm in shock, if I'm honest.
All right.
Greg's car is a write-off. The lorry driver he was overtaking called 999.
Coming down in my truck, I was in the middle lane, so the car was overtaking me. Don't know how fast he was going because we only go at 50 mile an hour, so he's coming past me, and then he's gone into the barrier, and then he slid all the way along it. Of course, there's parts of his car flying everywhere, all his lights have gone out and everything, so I pulled over, obviously rang for the emergency services.
Yeah. So all the way down there is okay when I've touched it. Just point to me where it hurts then. Down to the side. Is it hurting when I touch it, or is it like a muscular type?
It's more than muscular.
Like you've strained it?
Yeah.
Is there any pain going into your legs?
No.
How did you feel walking over here?
Just to be careful of my back because
it was hurting straight away. Okay.
There's debris all over the road, so as cars are still going past, you can't see it. There's bits and pieces flying everywhere, pieces of his bonnet, you know, the exhaust and things like that. So, but yeah, anyway, fortunately I seen a door move, he got out and then he's ran across the roads. But yeah, on a nice peaceful Wednesday evening, accidents happen.
Is it something you want to go to hospital with? Do you want to go be seen down there?
Yeah, really. If we could get checked out at hospital.
Fair enough.
Just to make sure.
He's requested to go to hospital, so we've asked for an ambulance to come.
I'm in shock, to be honest.
Yeah, these things do shock you.
Unfortunately, there isn't one available just now, but they'll be sending one as soon as possible.
Right, let's wrap that blanket around you. When you walked over from your car, were you all right on your feet? Shall we walk down and at least get you somewhere warm?
This is one of the UK's new smart motorways with no hard shoulder. Greg and his rescuers are still at high risk of injury.
Motorways are a dangerous place any time of day, not just for people who are working on them, the people like the traffic officers, police officers themselves, and anywhere where there's vehicles travelling at high speed, it's risky.
Gemma is giving Greg Entonox, gas and air, for his back pain.
So for the next few minutes I want you to take that constantly just to see if we can get on top of this pain.
Yeah, in between that, if you just take a deep breath and blow like a balloon, so I'll tell you to stop. Point it and blow.
But he can't escape a routine breath test.
That's it, stop. Cheers, right, thank you.
Although he passes with ease.
Right, let's get lots of that inside you and then we can take it from there.
You don't do it for why?
Well, it's because you're not using it for long enough. It's because it wears off right quick.
The ambulance crew have arrived to take Greg to hospital. Gemma brings them up to date.
Hello, you all right? This is Greg. He's complaining of left-sided back pain, no central back or neck pain when I felt all the way down. He's walked into here, so he'll walk down to DCA.
It looks like Greg has escaped serious injury, but he's on his way to hospital for a full checkup. When the sun goes down, Leeds turns into one of the North's biggest party cities, and the team often have to pick up the pieces.
Traditionally, you dreaded a Friday or Saturday night in ops on an ambulance because you know you're going to be dealing with jobs that involved alcohol, and quite often where people have consumed alcohol to excess. Nowadays, I don't think Friday and Saturday exists. Alcohol doesn't know time or day. It's pretty constant every day.
It's Halloween, and the team are heading out to the scene of a barbecue in Leeds.
999 road activated.
There are reports a guest has been hit by a car.
Please drive to highlighted route.
Team leader Roshers is backing up local paramedics dealing with a difficult patient.
There they are. Ambulance on scene. And police.
Extreme caution. Cab door open.
The patient was leaving the party by bike, apparently after several drinks.
Car versus cyclist. Cyclist in drink, query 40 miles an hour.
But he says he's fine. He's moved his legs, we've got his head, We're just trying to persuade him to let us put a collar on and scope him.
Tell him to let go on the head.
He needs to keep over looking at me. He needs to put his collar on. We're only looking at
I'm not getting the collar.
Just let go. Just listen. Why can't we put a collar?
Because I've not gone wrong.
How do you know?
Paramedics fear he has a neck injury. A rigid collar could save his life.
I don't want a collar on. I'm good.
Yeah, simple as that.
Right.
Refusing, innit?
Yeah.
Can you do?
I'm good.
Are you going to go to hospital to be checked over?
Basically, a gentleman's been hit by a car. He was on a push bike travelling down this road. The gentleman has had quite a bit to drink by his own admission. He has gone over the car. Looks like minor injuries. The crew have got here. They tried to do with the proper procedures of putting a collar and putting him on a board. He's refused point blank.
The man could be gambling with his life. The team need to protect themselves and the ambulance service.
Right, when you sign some paperwork, for this crew and saying you won't go talk this up. Nothing we can do if people refuse. Absolutely nothing. We can't take people against their own will. He's refusing point blank. He's signing the paperwork now for the crew saying he's refusing to be treated or taken to hospital. And there goes it. That's all there is to it.
The police aren't having much luck either.
I got run over.
I know you did.
I've got a cut to the back of his head there.
Scooby, you can't do it. You've tried everything you can. He's got up, he's walked off.
For the motorist, it's been a traumatic experience too.
I stopped, I immediately got out of the car, went running to him. A lot of people came out of the houses and started shouting at me and saying that you were driving 70 miles per hour, which I wasn't. I was driving 30, less than 30, not even 30. I was so frightened. I thought they were all going to beat me up.
For Bravo team, it's been a wasted journey. But this case is far from rare.
It's difficult because we can never just step back and say, well, we won't help you, because we don't know what's happened to them. We don't know the reason of why they've been aggressive. It could be due to an injury. So it's not for us to ever say, we're not treating you.
Mountain biking is a growing sport. 11 million Britons own one. But it's a dangerous hobby. Dave and Mike team have been scrambled to an accident at the Leeds Urban Bike Park.
999 road activated.
A rider is lying on a woodland trail with a head injury.
We do tend to get quite a lot of jobs in this place due to the nature of it, so there's sort of quite challenging routes, which seems to cause quite a few accidents. I think in my last 5 shifts, this is probably my 3rd trip here.
With head injuries, time is of the essence, but finding the patient in over 600 acres of parkland might not be easy.
A lot of the trails go well out into the trees, so at times we can be up to 500 metres.
I think we need to come down the main drag.
Where we normally drive down. We've just come across a guy on a lawnmower from the previous job we did the other day, down that way, you mean?
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Let's go and have a look.
I'll just go beyond them, mate, and then we can...
Ned and Parky have found the location, but the rider is up a narrow track on rough terrain. The ambulances can't get through.
It's about the same place as we were last week.
Is it?
Potentially these injuries are life-threatening. When we get down there, you'll see that some of these jumps are really big. It's I think they're coded pretty much like the ski runs. So a black run is the hardest, and there's some quite sort of hefty drops, which take, I would imagine, a high degree of skill to negotiate safely.
Yeah, that's all that's up. Can you bring a mibs down and thermal blanket for it as well? These patients are quite cold, ever.
Yeah, we'll do.
Local paramedics are on scene, but they need heart to help get their patient out of the woods.
If you look through the trees now, you can see where we're going, straight through there. So what, maybe 200 metres off the track?
What was meant to be a family day of fun has gone badly wrong. 60-year-old physiotherapist Mick Murphy was biking with his 2 young sons when he came off at speed.
You can see the size of the jump here now as we approach them.
I was coming down the trail and saw these guys stood around and just lay on the side. Stopped and then realised that he'd had a pretty bad accident. And I was here for about 5 minutes just checking his breathing, making sure that he was talking, and the ambulance had been called. And Tom came down, and said he was a paramedic, which was kind of, you know, absolute relief.
You ready?
Right, ready, steady, lift. It's been quite tough for him because it's really cold. Even just sticking my own things underneath his head just to keep warm. I'm absolutely freezing myself. So he was in a pretty bad way.
How are we doing? We'll get you warmed up and we can have a better look at you once we get you back out.
I think just the combination of the jumps, and then it had thrown him off the bike, and he landed really quite heavily flat on his chest. So he's definitely got broken ribs and his rib cage is in quite a bad way.
Mick has potentially serious back and head injuries. He needs to get to hospital.
Prepare to lift and lift.
The medics have stabilised him, and his spine is immobilised in Hart's body splint stretcher.
I was at the top of the trail and a passerby mentioned that there was somebody laid down on the floor down the trail. Fortunately for Mick, I'm an off-duty paramedic, so by pure chance I just went down to see if he was all right, and unfortunately he seemed to have fractured a couple of ribs and he was in a great deal of pain.
And lower.
Two lads were with him and they did fantastically. There were a couple of passers-by who were also stopping to help, which was really, really nice to see.
Ready, steady, lift.
An afternoon of high adrenaline exercise may have changed Mick's life for good.
It's all about just starting small and kind of moving up to bigger stuff, but it's just a way that the sport is. There's always dangers involved.
So now it is using our 4x4, we're getting the gentleman's bike, we're taking his kids back to where the mum is, then hopefully once he's been in LGI he'll be okay.
Mick will be treated at the trauma centre at the Leeds General Infirmary, where the full extent of his injuries will become clear. X-rays revealed Mick had 3 spinal fractures and further breaks in his hands and ribs, but he made a good recovery and is now back out on his bike with his sons. Sadly, Trafford, the biker who crashed in Bradford, died in hospital of multiple injuries. The man on the canal boat eventually came ashore and was released by police without charge. No weapons were found. Joyce Burke, the patient taken to hospital during the waterside siege, later died in hospital. The 2 workers injured by toxic chemicals that spilled from a parked lorry suffered no long-term effects. The motorist, injured in a motorway crash on the Lofthouse interchange, was confined to bed for a week with back pain, but has since recovered. And it's not known whether the cyclist injured after a Halloween party in Leeds suffered any long-term effects after he refused to go to hospital.